Hey everyone, it's Hayes. In today's video, I can't believe we're even discussing this topic, but today we will be discussing whether or not Alia is a bad friend. In my opinion, actually no, not in my opinion, factually, the answer is no. There's no opinions in this. What? I can't even believe we're discussing this, but the buffoons over on twitter.com were like, oh yeah, no, Alia, terrible friend. Once again, another awful hot take from this fandom. I can't fathom how anyone can't see that Alia isn't a good friend. I don't know. I'm not saying you have to love her. I'm not saying she has to be your favourite character, okay? She's not my favourite. I love her a lot, but she's not my favourite. That belongs to Mark, obviously, and then Aeon, my faves. I'm not saying she has to be your favourite, but she's an amazing friend. And I was like, when I kept seeing all this discourse and no one was giving any facts or opinions on it, they were just like, oh yeah, bad friend. Oh, bad friend, awful. Oh. No. So I asked all of you in a community post, so thank you very much for replying. And please let me apologise for this video taking ages. Basically, I just asked at what was clearly an inopportune moment. So the way my video scheduling works is that I have loads of video ideas and they're all scheduled in my planner. However, when episodes are going to come out, those episodes are my priority because I can't do trailer analysis, theory videos, reaction and commentary several weeks after it's aired because then no one's going to care. However, people will hopefully always care about this kind of topic of video. So I just happened to ask in an inopportune moment right before we got episodes, but we're doing it now. So I'm very sorry it took so long, but thank you so much for bearing with me, and also by submitting all your responses of me trying to work out why is she a bad friend. So let's start with listing the reasons why she could be bad. Although, again, like I said, she's not. So the most obvious thing about Alia being a bad friend, which is the one I had thought of and I was like, okay, other than this, what is there? Is the most obvious one, which is about Alia believing Lila. So this starts in Volpina and it does continue, but you know, Lila isn't there for a lot of the show. She is in season 2, but she doesn't interact with anyone in the class in season 2. I think, does she only appear in Heroes Day? I think so, and she doesn't actually interact with anyone in the class. I think she only talks to Gabriel. Well, Hawkmoth, Scarlet Daddy, whatever you want to call him in that episode. She doesn't actually talk to any of the kids. And then she reappears in Chameleon, and then she's sporadically in the show in seasons 3 and 4. To the point she pretty much does nothing in season 4. I don't know why they even put her in the classroom in season 4, because she does nothing until the end of Penalty. And then in season 5, she does a lot more. However, even though this was very annoying to see Alia get manipulated by Lila, I don't think this makes her a bad friend. It's someone who is a good person who makes a mistake, which doesn't make you a bad person for making a mistake. I'm now starting to sound like the Colleen Ballinger ukulele video, which if I can ignore the absolutely heinous things she did, that song is an absolute banger. However, I can't ignore it. So it's actually a horrific way to apologise for the thing she did, but anyway, awful. So was that something Alia shouldn't have done? Because I literally just filmed a meme review and one of the memes was Alia believing Lila with absolutely no proof, and then when Marinette is like, hey, she's lying to you, she's like, what's your proof of this? You're just jealous. No, it is very annoying to watch since Lila's lies are so silly and easily debunked. Like, one thing I've really liked about Lila as Chrissy Pop this season is that she's become so much more manipulative when she's, you know, akumatizing people. I really wish she'd been a lot more manipulative like that when she was lying to people in seasons 1 to 5. Just so it came off as a bit more, you know, realistic, instead of it like being silly and me thinking Alia has an IQ of 2 when I know in fact she's very, very intelligent. However, I do think it has to be said, if you're going to hold Alia to account for believing Lila's lies, then you need to do the same for the rest of the kids, because they also believed her. It's not just Alia, it was all of them. So if you're gonna call her a bad friend for this, then they're all bad friends. And this situation absolutely escalates in Chameleon, where they send Marinette to the back of the class to sit on her own, and then later on in the episode, when they all move back around, Alia's like, you didn't think I'd let my BFF sit by myself? Yeah, you did! Let her sit by herself all morning. I rewatched it this morning whilst I was doing my makeup and I was just like, Alia, come on. Again, it's annoying, but I don't think that makes her a bad person or a bad friend. Then obviously in Gang of Secrets, Marinette reveals to Alya, I am Ladybug. So I was like, great, at this point, you know, one of Lila's biggest lies is that she's friends with Ladybug. Marinette, now Alya knows that Marinette is Ladybug, she knows that Marinette would never be friends with her. But Alya is still like, oh no, yeah, Lila's telling the truth. Yeah, absolutely. So it did start to annoy me more at this point that Marinette could very easily disprove one of Lila's main lies, but Alya still didn't believe her. But like I said, everyone else still believed Lila, so if you're going to dislike Alya for it, then you have to dislike everyone else about it. However, even though Alya doesn't believe Marinette until confrontation, in my opinion, Alya never truly turns against Marinette for the things she says about Lila, which is true. She just thinks that Marinette is jealous though. Like there's that bit, I can't remember what episode it's in, she's like, you won, you got Adrian, which is who Lila wanted. It's like, you can chill out, you don't need to be so jealous anymore. Marinette's like, that's not the point. It's about her lying and her manipulating all of you. But she, like, Alya doesn't hate Marinette for it, it doesn't define their relationship, they don't seem to talk about it when Lila isn't there. And when what happens in Ladybug happens, Alya's like, she says you've done it, but like, no, surely not. I will investigate for you. Alya truly cares about Marinette. So whilst it's certainly not the greatest thing in the world to have done to have believed Lila, particularly after Marinette reveals she's Ladybug, so therefore you know that Marinette wouldn't be friends with Lila as Ladybug because she hates her, so not the best thing in the world, it doesn't make her a bad person or a bad friend in my opinion. However, there are a couple of other small things that people have argued that could make her a bad friend. And one of them, I don't think it makes her a bad friend, I just think it makes her slightly insane. Was in the New York special. Now, I love the New York special. Out of all the world specials we've got, that is so far my favourite one. And right, as cute as the Adrianette is in the special, lovely, adorable. And as much as I do not ship either Lucanette or Adrigami, Marinette and Adrian are dating other people. So why on earth are Alya and Nino, not just Alya, it's Nino as well, why are they trying to get Adrian and Marinette together when they are with other people? I don't. What? Like I said, Adrianette in the New York special, super cute with the dancing, with them trying to get into the hotel, with Marinette on her bike at the... Loved it. Absolute cinema. It was amazing. But also, they are dating other people, what are you two playing at? No. But again, it's not just Alya, it was Nino. And obviously Alya and Nino know Kagami and Luca aren't right for you. It's the two of you. But if you're going to do that, perhaps, you know, they shouldn't have been dating other people. Then of course something else is from Rocketeer. So Nino in that episode thinks Alya is cheating on him with Cat Noir. He ends up getting akumatized at the end of the episode to confide in him fully about what's going on. She reveals she is Rena Furtive. Now, should she have done that given the state of affairs? No. However, obviously plays into the plot of season 5 because she had the Miraculous permanently, temporarily, but then after the finale when Nino revealed where Alya was hiding with his shield because there was something heading to the building she was hidden on, Alya had to rescind her Miraculous, which in turn got stolen for the shenanigans of season 5. So it seemed that was a plot-based move overall rather than a character-based move. And to Alya, I don't think she was doing that to be malicious, to go behind Marinette's back, anything like that. She just wanted to have a solid relationship with Nino. We've seen how this season, how important telling the truth, being open and honest are to both Nino and Alya. So honestly, should she have told Marinette? Yes. But in the grand scheme of things, I really don't think it's a big deal, or does it make her a bad friend? Another thing as well was related to Miraculous as well, which is in Optigami. So Alya goes to get her Miraculous from the Miracle Box. At this point she doesn't have it permanently. And she also decides while she's there, oh, I'll just grab Nino's and then he can help me. Marinette only sent her to get her Miraculous, not Nino's as well. Should she have done that without asking? No, probably not. Does that make her a bad friend or a bad person? In my opinion, no. No, it doesn't. Why would it? And that was basically all the reasons that all of you could try and come up with. Basically, it was just small mistakes Alya has made, but I don't think any of those mistakes, even if you take all of them into consideration, add them up to make Alya a bad friend or a bad person. So now moving on to the good, and there is so much more good about Alya than there ever could be termed as bad. First of all, most obvious one, she keeps Marinette's identity a secret. Like I said just before about Alya and Nino's relationship, about them not keeping secrets from each other, Marinette's identity has never even come up in conversation between the two of them as something she needs to tell Nino. Alia knows that this has to be kept an absolute secret between her and Marinette. No one can know, which is made even more significant by the fact that Alia wants to be a journalist. Alia would have, the scoop of the century if she was the one to reveal Ladybug's identity. It would absolutely secure any future position she wanted after she finished school, but she understands the gravity of the secret and she puts Marinette first. Another great example of her putting Marinette first is in season 5. Alia practically moves in. Like, I make jokes in all my screaming sessions and stuff that I think at the start of the season they just like end up having like a sleepover, like in Destruction and Multiplication, when they kind of happen at the same time. They're like having a sleepover together. But as the season escalates and you see them having more and more sleepovers, I think at one point Alia does have a mattress in Marinette's room. Like, it's on the floor because there's no space for an actual bed. But like, it is literally like Alia moves in because because Marinette is completely suffering from what has happened mentally and the pressure she feels to get these Miraculous back to make sure the wish doesn't happen. She's under so much pressure and Alia is totally there for her, by the sound of it, pretty much every single night after school. We also see how much Marinette absolutely intrinsically trusts Alia. If you go back to Origins, Marinette and Alia haven't actually known each other that long. Alia is brand new to the school in Origins. However, they have become friends super quickly, given how amazing Alia is, to the point that Marinette, over people she's known for years, for example Nino or Rose, who I think have been in previous class photos that we see in Reflector, she gives the first Miraculous to be given out the Miracle Box after hers in Cat Noir's. Of course, she gives it to Alia. Also in season 4 of Mr. Pigeon 72, Alia was the one to help Ladybug with her power-up. In Glaciator 2, Alia, without Miraculous, goes outside in her pyjamas with like, what was it, like a cardboard box on her head, dustbin lint, I can't remember what it was, in some just pulled together armour, if you want to call it that, because it didn't look like it offered her much protection, to try and help Ladybug and Cat Noir. She could have been seriously injured, but she was like, no, I need to be there for my best friend. At the ending of Sad Anansi, I know it's probably going to end in tears, but Alia really wants to know what is ailing Marinette because Marinette won't tell her, but she's like, I need to know though, it's really affecting her. I absolutely need to know. I will do whatever it takes to find out. I don't think the outcome will be good, as we saw in Revelator, but she just wants to help her best friend. That is all Alia wants to do. She just wants to help everyone around her, particularly Marinette, given she knows just how bad her mental health is. Again, in Revelator, I don't necessarily think Alia was angry at Marinette. She was more upset at the fact that she had to keep this lie. She didn't mind that Marinette had kept this from her. It was the fact that now Alia knew and she would have to keep it too. Do you know what I mean? So not angry that Marinette had lied in the first place, just that she had now to keep this lie. Overall, Alia is absolutely always there for Marinette, particularly in season 5. She is quite literally her rock. She is there for her for everything. She is so kind and dependable and reliable. And furthermore, Alia is also Marinette's wing woman in all Adrian related things. Even when they've got together, she still needs Alia's help with stuff because of how anxious she is. And honestly, I do look for Alia-like qualities in all of my friends. If you're one of my friends, it's because I think you share some resemblance to Alia's personality, because I think she is absolutely brilliant. As some of you know, I have 3 brothers, no sisters. If I had one sister or more than one, I would hope they're even just a tiny bit like Alia, because I think she is absolutely amazing. The only thing I wish they'd kept in the show, because I've seen the storyboard from it, is that in Confrontation, when the Lila stuff does eventually come out, I really wish they'd kept in Alia's apology. In the final version, they went for Miss Boustier's instead, which was nice and all, but I just think an Alia apology would have been so much more significant than a Miss Bustier apology, given how close Marinette and Alia are. So I am really, really glad they at least thought about doing it, but just decided it didn't make the final cut. I really, really wish they'd kept it in. But just overall, I think Alia and most of the characters who are the kids are absolutely amazing. I think a lot of the time, a lot of people watching the show, not necessarily just the adults, even the children watching it themselves, I think they forget that Marinette and Alia and Adrian and whoever else are children. They're gonna make mistakes, as I'm sure you did as a child. I definitely did, as I still do as an adult. It's just something that happens. Alia isn't perfect, and if she was any greater, I'm sure a lot of people would be calling her a Mary Sue. And probably mix up the definition again. Alia is amazing. I'm not saying you have to like her, but I think she is an absolutely wonderful friend, and it absolutely baffles me that anyone ever would think she is a bad friend. I think she is absolutely amazing, and if I had a sister, I would hope she'd be exactly like Alia. But anyway, besties, that's just what I think / is fact-based about Alia. She's a wonderful friend. She's the best. But I still love to know what the rest of you think, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!